Good afternoon. This is HorseRacingNation.com handicapper Jared Horak, and this is my latest Kentucky Derby Contenders video. This week's video, we're going to recap the Tampa Bay Derby and the San Felipe from last week. Then we're going to preview the Rebel Stakes, which will be run on Saturday. Once again, I'm joined by my HRN and Derby Wars colleague, Ryan Patterson.
Good to be here with you, Jared.
The last time we teamed up of the big cap, we definitely got him on the right track there. We both said that Game On Do was definitely the horse to beat. Your live long shot in that race. Clubhouse Ride ended up finishing a good second at a big price.
Yeah, it was a $66 exacta, and we had it cold, so sometimes you're lucky enough to get that, and we got it. So
and we actually even gave him the try
this week.
We even nailed the try because the third horse in there we liked as well. So
right.
we definitely, the three horses that we liked ran 1, 2, 3. I hope we can do it again in the Rebel. But before we get to that, let's recap the Tampa Bay Derby. Verrazano remained undefeated, and he looked good again.
Yeah, he looks like the real deal. This was his third start, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and he wasn't even challenged. To see him as good as he is with only 3 races, to think how much he's going to improve between this race and the next race, and then again in a couple weeks at Churchill Downs, it's just scary to think what he might do.
And he's going to the Wood Memorial next. That'll be his final Derby prep. He's going to face Normandy Invasion and a few others, and if he runs well there and he wins again, he'll probably be a decent favorite in the Derby.
Yeah, it's. I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me on this, and I feel like most of those people are contrarians just for the sake of being one. But this horse is the real deal. He's done absolutely nothing wrong, and he's won like a good thing. And until he shows me that he's got some chinks in the armor, I just don't see how you can go against him.
Yeah, definitely. So far, so good. We'll see how he does in the Memorial, and if he wins that, I think we have our legitimate Derby favorite. In the San Felipe, we ended up getting a speed duel there. Here the Ghost took advantage of it. Goldencents and Flashback surprisingly hooked up, and they just went at each other in that race.
Yeah, it was a pretty goofy race with Kevin Krieger calling Julien Leparoux basically an amateur afterward, which was fairly, I thought that was funny that Kevin Krieger would call a champion rider like Julien Leparoux an amateur, but yeah, they ran off like they had it in their back pocket, and somebody came and took it from them.
Leparoux, he seems to be on the hot seat in these Derby mounts. Last year, Union Rags, he kept getting him in trouble, and they took him off for the Belmont Stakes. And now this year, Baffert's done it. Baffert's taken him off. He's taken Leparoux off of Flashback, and Garrett Gomez is going to ride in the Santa Anita Derby.
Right, that marriage with Julien Leparoux and Bob Baffert was fast and furious, and apparently short. Let's go back to Garrett Gomez already.
And Garrett Gomez, if anybody remembers, he rode Looking at Lucky. Baffert got mad at him and took him off during the Triple Crown season as well. So now let's jump over to the Rebel Stakes. It'll be the 10th race at Oaklawn Park on Saturday, March 16th. We have a full field in here, and your favorite is going to break from the outside post. That'll be Super 99, breaking from post 11.
Right, he absolutely crushed him last out in the Southwest Stakes, and a lot of people think that this is just a speedball, but he's got route pedigree on top and bottom. His numbers tower over everyone else in the field, and while this isn't quite a game-on dude situation, I think he's clearly the horse to beat, and it's going to take something special to get the job done against him.
He can handle a fast track as well. It should be a fast track. I looked at the weather forecast. It looks like sunny and in the 70s this week at Oaklawn. So we're looking at a fast track this time. But he romped in the Southwest Stakes. That was on a sloppy track. He just went to the front and kept on going. Now, something we mentioned in our other video when we did the big cap was Ron the Greek came off that big win on a wet track, and then he was going to be facing a different scenario. And that did happen, and we said he was vulnerable in the big cap, and he didn't run his race. But do you think Super 99 is vulnerable at all in here?
If there's any reason to see him as vulnerable, it would be all the speed he's got to his inside, but I feel like VERRAZANO can track a little bit if he wants to. The biggest disadvantage that he has is being hung all the way on the outside with that quick run into the far turn, and if he gets hung wide around the turn, that could be the difference in winning and losing.
That's an interesting pace scenario in here. Probably Title Contenders the quickest. He went out in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and set the pace. They were going super fast that day. So I think he's probably the quickest of the quick. There's some other speed horses in here. Delhomme is going to get Garrett Gomez and for Todd Pletcher. He can show some speed, but I think he's rateable. Then you have the 2 horses on the outside, Oxbow and Super 99. Now the key here could be Mike Smith getting aboard Oxbow. Maybe he's going to keep Super 99 pinned wide all the way around. And if he's best, he may have to be wide on all the turns and beat these horses.
Right, and I think the play in here might be, and this will surprise you a little bit, is Texas Bling. Now, not to win, this is a horse who I feel like can certainly run third and fourth, so key him on the bottom of those trifectas and superfectas.
Yeah, he could be one that you could throw in because of that Southwest Stakes in the slop. Some of the horses that ran well on the Smarty Jones just didn't pick their feet up. Will Take Charge is another one. He stalked the pace in the Smarty Jones. It was a quick pace, and he was able to sit within striking distance throughout. And then last time in the Southwest, he was sitting back 10th place. He was in last early, and he passed some tired horses. So he's one that could set a decent tactical trip. So what do you think in this race? Who do you think you're going to go towards?
Jared, for me, this race, I don't have a good enough feeling. I wouldn't go to the window on this horse, but gun to my head, I'm taking Super 99 because he just looks like he's that much faster than everyone else, and I don't have a solid feel or a solid read on anyone else that can beat him. So
I think an interesting.
At the same time, he's not going to be enough value for me to want to bet him.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's definitely going to be hammered off that big win. An interesting horse on here, I think, is Treasury Bill. I'm going to go with him, but I wouldn't, again, this is one I wouldn't want to take a short price on because he is coupled in the wagering with Title Contender, but they do complement each other. A Title Contender is speed, Treasury Bill is going to come from off the pace. It's possible that Treasury Bill is just a late-running sprinter. We've seen a lot of these horses come from last, and they make a big move in sprints, and then when they stretch out, they're not as effective. But he is bred to go 2 turns. Ron Ellis said he's been wanting to get this horse around 2 turns. And the interesting thing is he's been making up ground at Santa Anita. That's not easy to do.
Exactly.
Also, in the San Vicente, he got no pace help, and he still rallied for second. So if he can get the distance here, he could easily run past all these if the pace is honest, like it looks like on paper.
Are you going to give any look to Den's Legacy?
I think he's one you could sneak in underneath because he's going to sit a good trip in here.
Baffert.
It's definitely
How many times have we seen the other Baffert come get the money?
Yeah, you're definitely right. Gomez jumps off, but Robbie Alvarado gets aboard. He's got that tactical speed. He's run in all these stakes races. He's been competitive. He's run one that's going to sit the trip.
Robbie Alvarado.
And then one other horse I guess we should mention, Carve on the inside. He's undefeated. He's 2 for 2 at Oaklawn Park at 1 mile and a 16th. And he's going to sit a good ground-saving trip behind the speed.
Yeah, I like that horse a little bit, but I just worry that he's a little cheap.
Yeah, that's the key. And a lot of times when these horses, the pace scenario will get tougher, especially with stalkers. When the pace scenario starts to get quicker, they have to run quicker in the middle, and then they don't have as much left late, and we'll see if that's the case with that one. So the favorite looks solid here, Super 99, maybe Treasury Bill. Has a shot, as Ryan said, Texas Bling is a long shot to hit the board. That'll wrap up this week's video. We're gonna be back next week. We're gonna do the Spiral Stakes together. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very good race. It's produced horses like Hard Spun and Animal Kingdom. Last year it was, help me out with the name, Went the Day Well. Who knows who it'll be this year? And this could be the best field, beforehand that we've seen in many years.
Yeah, we're definitely looking at a full field here, and we'll be back next week to give you a full preview of that one. And until next week, good luck at the races.